a dive into how to forgive your spouse. Again, that presentation, my name is Neva, your host, and my co-host,
Aaron.
And you're going to see us kind of looking off back and forth because we're recording off two devices so that we can enhance and boost and grab your attention. So pardon me for the delay on this end on the YouTube side. So I know we missed our last session. It's okay. Things happen. But we back today. We want to engage with you. So we ask that you come on in, ask questions. You have any feedback, we will appreciate your feedback as well. So, sometimes we go through relationships and sometimes things can get a little testy, for lack of better words. And when we give ourselves to somebody, we're usually giving our whole self. I'm hoping that you're being 100 in your relationship, right? And we place our hearts in somebody else's hands. And sometimes things get triggered. Things happen and take place. Is it worth fighting for? Have you exhausted avenues or trying to keep the relationship healthy, being forgiving, and rising to the occasion? Because sometimes we could just be at the wrong, it's like almost like the wrong place, wrong time when we're going through some changes in our lives. So I have a questionnaire here that we're going to tackle and see where that goes. So how to forgive your spouse. The person who can hurt you easily and deeply, usually where that is willing from, that willingly or unwillingly. That is your spouse. Why? Because he or she is close to you. You spend a lot of time with them. They know so much about you. Okay. And sometimes they might know more about you than you even know of yourselves, because as that window expression is, you have people on the outside looking in. And so when that takes place, things happen. So my number one thing is communicate your hurt.
So, communicate your hurt. Your spouse might not be aware that you have been offended. Stop keeping this to yourself, growing resentment, assuming your spouse will know, as if your spouse reads your mind. Which, outside of this, 9 times out of 10 that happens. I just figured I'd throw that out there real quick. Mm-hmm. Let your spouse know, darling, you hurt me. What might be an issue to you might not be an issue to your spouse.
Yeah. So I'll elaborate a little bit on there, because sometimes even for myself, because sometimes I'm in high drive and speaking, and it's like whatever's up here, not disrespectfully, it flows. Why? Because sometimes we have a lot of things going on and we want to make sure that we express it, whatever is needed to be expressed. So we have to be careful. How can you do that? Allow your spouse to hold you accountable. Allow them to express themselves in stating how what you said or what you did was not welcoming, or
it wasn't appropriate, it wasn't loving. There was absolutely no care, concern, or consideration in said statement. And 9 times out of 10, let me be upfront, let me be real clear. Men, I'm talking to the men real quick. Just hear this. We won't say exactly what it is. And to a degree, we never will. There are some things that we will take to the grave with us. And why is that? Because we haven't been taught, or shall we say, guided along the correct path to that. Because believe it or not, gentlemen, there is no correct path. However, there is a justifiable trail. As quiet as it is, there is a justifiable trail. And the trail very, very seldom gets activated. Watch this. This particular trail gives us the balance and the ability to not only, one, remain who and what we are as men, but two, it shows our best friend, our wife, the loves of our life, that yes, we can and are vulnerable. It's just that we have to pick and choose when and where to do that. Because sometimes we could come off so harsh, we would just shut her down. And then we wondering why over the next few weeks, she's not really saying anything. She's not really doing the things that she normally does. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I love you, but you kind of scratched a little something.
Yeah.
And we might, and that's something that we need to talk about.
Yeah, I think for the women too, sometimes we with the men, they get shut down too, like shut down. And I think I can express for myself because sometimes we speak, and when I speak, I like to always use myself as an example because I want people to know that I'm not perfect. And don't be afraid to be a little imperfect because that's how we learn. But for myself, I could be on this race of speaking and it's for him to interject and express himself. Sometimes I think I go, he'll say something and then I'll jump in. For me personally, I do that because a lot of times I have so much on my mind, I don't want to forget nothing. So what do I need to do? As I'm talking to myself, I just gave myself a tip internally, maybe do a journal. So let me share with you guys. Let's journal. Let's journal what our questions is. Let's journal and piggyback on conversations that we have with our spouse and significant other as to what's a best way to communicate, to express ourselves when we are going through things, when we are shaken and moved a little bit in an uncomfortable moment. Maybe something we don't like what we just heard, but yet it's beneficial. We have to be open with that. So don't allow the communication hurt you. Find a way that is a balance for the both of you. Okay? So my next thing is don't always expect an apology. So let me read that expression. An apology is not what determines forgiveness. It's wonderful for your spouse to apologize, but not every time your spouse will apologize. Your spouse might fail to apologize because he or she doesn't see why you hurt. See, that's the thing, right? Communication and emotional intelligence is different. So you two have to not come to an agreement, or you are partially to blame for what you are accusing your spouse of. You have to resolve in your heart. I will not put my life on hold, waiting for an apology that might never come. Let me tell you, that's just not in your relationship, committed relationships. That's your relationship with anybody you come in contact with. Because I personally found that to be something that is like a weight that holds you down. You can't move. It's like you're frozen in time. You can't move. You can't birth anything new. You can't gain growth if you're holding on and waiting for somebody to apologize to you. I've been learning to forgive, but to move. But yet, if something becomes a bother, I have to. You just be open to make that person aware. Bring awareness. If you keep open and bring an awareness, you continue to move through those bumps. It's like ride the wave. Don't let the wave drown you. So give that person some grace. They might be going through something. And also, that person should be open. They should be open to be ready to express themselves as you ask for elaboration. Can you elaborate on what you just said, or why did you do that? What's going on? Because sometimes we can see people react of what's going on internally, and they don't always understand why they just say the things that they say. So welcome in my YouTube loves and my Facebook loves. I'm tagged on both. Tag, like, share, subscribe, tune in. Welcome. And so, yeah, we can't always expect an apology. And I regret, I waste so much of my life and time waiting on apologies from the people that supposed to love and care. And I mean, I'm coming back from my immediate home front, when I grew up in my household, in my parents' household. And, what I realized is a lot of people are going through some things. They don't always have a fight. You just want to move through. But do not hold down and hold yourself in a bondage. Make sure you will make that person aware what had happened, how you feel. Because if you keep holding back anything you need to express, they're going to continue to do the thing. So make them aware of what's happened, what's taking place.
Me 9 times out of 10. 10. Me 9 times out of 10. We do the same thing. Like 2 weeks. That's 14 days. So that means each day I do this one thing. Each day, this one thing. Piss off. And so. It is a serious subject. But I'm allowing Jah to speak to a degree. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have fun. Because watch this. Me say wife. We're going to go outside. And say he. Why you go outside? Me say go get some air.
You go get some air. Come on with it. They need to
That's
hear
it. Now, and then her says to me, we're in the air in the house. And then I go, you're right. It is air in the house. But I want some outside air. I want something just a slight bit of different.
Silly.
Just a little bit of different. Pay attention now. Follow me now, son. When she say to he, go do X, Y, Z, your response should be, yes, B.
Yes, who?
Simple. Yes, B.
Yes, B.
Yes, B. Bees, queen bees. They produce. They produce.
Jeez.
They produce more. So they need more of a balance. They need more of a reassurance.
And I understand guys too, because guess what? Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Because I know I'm a believer in stroking the ego. You let them know, thank you. I see you working hard. I appreciate that. Because we as women, we are busy bees. Yes, we are busy all the time. Want to keep the house maintained, want to keep our jobs maintained. We're wives, we're grandparents, we're sisters, we're spouses, we're employees and entrepreneurs. The wheel is always moving. For me, I think when I growing up in my family, throughout my family, I always seen the women work hardest. Not just counting the men, but it seemed like the women always worked harder and more because they have a drive. Women have a drive because we are created to protect. I know men are protect and provide, but we are emotional creatures. So that entails and makes us push and push and push. So sometimes that communication can cause a slight ruckus, right? Because it's like, I don't have no time. I got to keep moving. But see, we have to slow it down, right? So my next point, don't demand an apology. Don't force an apology out of your spouse. Don't force it. Because guess what? it don't hurt you more because now you conditioning somebody to say, you just heard, I need you to apologize. They have to want it. There has to be the desire to realize that they have crossed the point. If you push your spouse to say, fine, I'm sorry, are you happy now? Oh my God. That's the worst thing to do. That is the worst presentation. That's the worst delivery to do because no apology is better than a force. It'll sting you if you gotta force it. Okay. So let's practice on allowing that person to see. As I say, bring to them the problem, but don't force an apology.
Watch this. Pay attention, gentlemen. And also pay attention, ladies. 9 times out of 10, us as men, we don't really have an understanding or an idea why we apologizing. We just saying we sorry. But, and here's where it gets ugly at. The wife feels satisfied because they got an apology. Meaning to her that she knows and understands why you're apologizing. But if you don't, and then the situation happens again in a different area, and then you don't, and then it's a problem.
Yeah.
Because my thing is always, above all else, outside of the constant communication. But then again, that depends on your level. But that's not here nor there. But the thing of it is, we have to know and understand and accept why we apologize. Because if not, it will always appear fake to her. And then that creates a weak foundation. I'm keeping it 100.
Yeah, see, the thing here too is that's why it's good to communicate. It's good to communicate with your spouse why you feel the way you feel, why you did or said. Because if I say something that affects you and hurt your feelings and you go, it's okay. No. Because guess what? We're going to continue to hit that same brick wall.
Her favorite word, trauma.
Yes, it's my favorite word because people don't understand. A lot of the things we do in life, every encounter creates us, right? Or you have babies that grow up, they see, they pick up. We go through. Hey, welcome in, Mo, DJ, tell them, bro, Maurice, and anybody else that's there. But listen, so yeah, if I sit and I say something, you say it's okay. No, and I'm real big on, come on, we gotta talk, we gotta break this down because I need to know where I need growth at, right? I need to know that something I say, and what better person to gain that from is your spouse, because guess what? It's like we're in training at home. We're in training at home. So when we go in the world and communicate with other people, we want to have great communication, right? And not be sensitive. Because I'm the type of person, I don't like people to be upset. I don't want people to be hurt, share, express, even if it hurts me. Delivery is important. Say what you need to say, but say it in a respectful manner, because when you do it that way, you get better results, right? I believe you get better results, because if somebody yell at me and they coming off real harsh, I don't hear you. I instantly shut down my mindset, because you can't expect me to communicate with you if you being harsh. Now, there's been times that I have my talking to my husband, I'm like, man, what? Because now that's me. Now I have to relax and breathe. He didn't put me in a storm and express and speak so heavily or harshly, not in a bad way, but with a lot of expression, because I speak with a lot of expression. Okay. And we want to be fair. We want to be real team players, and make things grow. So be open, be patient with your spouse. Okay. Don't allow them, don't y'all go run into nobody else thinking you're going to fix it, because guess what? It's always somebody in the back scene waiting for a moment to attack, and it will take what you got going on to put down your spouse.
Like she's just said, it's always somebody on the outside looking in And then they want to come in with tools. Oh, we're going to Captain fix everything. No, you will not. No, you won't.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. Because you know what? 9 times out of 10. Now, this is specifically for the ladies. This is for the ladies. We hear. Make no mistake, we hear, but we don't listen. Mm. You have to allow us the chance to have the ability to listen. Mm. Because we could have been with you for the past 10, 15, maybe even 20 years. We hear you, but there's just some things that you say that we really don't listen. So until, and I always say this to her as a joke, watch the expression on her face when I say this. Watch the expression on her face when I say this. When we first started talking, before we got married, I said, so I understand you've had children. I've never had children and things of this nature. Yes. And then she says to me, so to a degree, I'm going to be your teacher. And I said, yeah, beyond a shadow of a doubt. But then I took it one step further and was like, so that means you're going to be given 2 classes. The gentlemen already know that hear what I'm getting ready to say. And she says to me, well, what are you talking about? I said, well, while you're still training and teaching your children, you're going to have to train and teach me. And she said, what are you talking about? I said, you're going to have to train and teach me how to love you. I already love you, but there's a way that I need to do that, and only you can show that to me. Yes, no previous experience has given me that. None. This is you and only you, and always and only and will be about you. Mm-hmm. You have to show, teach, and train me how to love you. That's why I say we hear, but we don't really listen. Mm-hmm. And here's the sad part about it. Watch this. You heard it. Guaranteed. I'm willing to bet my left arm on this one. Mm-hmm. You've heard within your first 3 dates, she explained and expressed to you what you're going to do. And one of those statements was, I need you to learn how to love me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think it's very important. You just can't be getting with people. And I had to learn I was always been a giver in my relationships because I know that I don't want people to be hurt. Let me love on people, and sometimes people bring their baggage without wanting to open up. If you lack the communication, you won't be able to get your lesson. You won't be able to receive. With that being said, we're going to go to our point number 4. That see also your wrongs. Many spouses expect an apology from their spouse, but find it difficult to say sorry when they are wrong. Review your words and actions regularly. And if convicted that you wronged your spouse, apologize. Okay? Apologize even for what you consider your petty offense. This teaches us, your spouse, how to do it and shows that you are fair. And ask them. Help me understand, because sometimes I might not understand exactly what you mean, because guess what? We come from 2 different backgrounds. If everybody understands, you come from different backgrounds, and everything that he may have been taught, I might have not touched. And I could say that now we have that in our relationship, because things I think he a little harsh on. He like, no, this the right way. And I'd be like, oh, okay, and it's hard for me to grasp because it's not been in my life, Which yes, me and my husband always apologize and talk about what the issue is. Yes, it's so important to communicate that way. Your spouse is your best friend. If you do not have friendship as a foundation, some people think once you get married, you don't have to be friends no more. Are you kidding? Stay committed and have that friendship. Play, date, send notes, and just keep the drive, keep the momentum. You don't want to lose that. Some people I've had that experience in the past. Getting married and someone said, "Well, I don't have to be married." No. See, thought process on that already. I already knew it wasn't going to last, because if you come into a relationship, you had to have a friendship first, right? To some degree, you got to be able to communicate. I don't know what else to say about that, but we have to accept where we are wrong at. The apologies, let them be sincere. Give grace. Oh my goodness. Grace is so important in a relationship. Because there's been times I have, and I know been times he want to just get at me. Not in a bad way, not physical, but just like, woman. And I know at him, I got to say how I feel. I let him know. I can't hold nothing back. Because I need them to understand how much is in here in me. And I have to express that. And I have to share that. And guess what? He take it wholesomely. He sit down and he ponders over it. And I could see that he be pondering over it. And I also let him know I ain't trying to be so harsh. I'm not trying to be so
demanding,
but I have to make you aware, right? So he allows me to see my wrong by sharing that with me. So it's important that, yes, not just communication, understanding why they communicate that. You know what I'm saying? Yes, communication is that key, sister girl, with that understanding, because if you're telling me something, I can hear you. That's communicating, right? But I need to understand you from the depths, from the heart, from the sincere. He said, yes, he is. I thank God for him. We still go on lunch and dinner dates. That's beautiful. Beautiful, yes.
We just had a date night.
Continue to date, because listen. Girl, listen. I want my sisters to know, because sometimes you have women that they want the best of every single thing at every moment. Don't exhaust your spouse. It's okay to take those walks, dates, conversation, movies. Heck, you can have a picnic in your own home, right? Lay it out. I mean, get creative, right? You go some places and people decorate and do settings. Just get with it. Get with it. I like to go to my point 5. Do you have anything to express on that, sir? My husband?
I'm going to say this. Everything that she said is 100 and absolutely correct. I'm going to say that. And the other piece to that is, gentlemen, when she is talking, when she is speaking to you, you have to listen. You have to listen.
Yeah.
You have to listen.
Yeah.
Because if you don't listen, you're not going to learn. And you're going to stay in that little tiny ball that hurt you in the first place.
Brings me to point 5. Separate the issue from your spouse. I think if we do that, I know for a fact it works, because I've done it. Because if I want to be so upset, I'm like, why am I upset? This is a learning moment. This is a learning moment, right? It said there is a line that says God hates sin, not the sinner. Similarly, in marriage, learn to see your spouse in totality. Don't just focus on the wrong your spouse has done and judge him or her based on it. Again, we've engaged and been secluded or engaged with somebody or some people and live some type of way. It's we pick up things. Let me put it like that. We pick up things, right? You want to be careful of the things that you pick up, but you don't know, because it worked for that person. It might not work for the next person. So you have to be open and don't be afraid. Don't take every expression
to heart
as negative, because I'll be like, what? I'm very expressive. Don't mean I'm attacking you. It's the point. It's the thought process, because sometimes things that I see that is done outside of relationships, even in my workplace, some things are just not right. And not everybody can see truly that way, because they didn't get the correction. You know what I'm saying? If someone opens up a door. You say you're going through a door, you know somebody right behind you, but you hurry up and move through the door. Come on. So you think that's cool? Go ahead and hold the door for that person. Simple stuff like that. But those simple things can turn into a big issue later in life if it's not addressed. So separate the issue from the spouse. Just know that that's a part of them that they picked up from somebody else. Somebody didn't express, that was wrong. That was disrespectful. That ain't cool. So, but you can look at the overall of your spouse and be like, so embraced, so loved, so generous. And don't fault them for it. Don't do that, because we want to be forgiven and give grace just as God gave us grace.
Case in point, there are some things that we enjoy together, but there are also some things that we enjoy separately. And as you can see, I'm big on anime. So I wanted to introduce her to this different type of anime. It was not only different for her, but it was different for me. It was different for me on so many levels. Because she'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, if she walk in the bedroom and I'm watching anime, somebody is dying, somebody fighting, somebody crying, somebody on their knees, something is happening.
That anime.
But this particular anime, it was nothing but conversation. It was nothing but conversation. And she did something that kind of threw me off the very first time she did it. She walked in, she stood and was looking and listening for a minute, and then put her phone down. Yeah, ladies, I'm going to say that because y'all got this thing with y'all phones, so I ain't even going through that. But anyway, it was more important enough for me to watch her put her phone down and actually stand there and listen and watch to what it was that I was watching. Because to a degree, our tastes, again, vary, but there are some things that we do come together on. And this was the very first thing that got her, and it touched the hell out of me. It truly touched the hell out of me. Because animation, science fiction, stuff like that, that's my heart. That's those are things that I love. Yeah. And when she did that, she opened the door, not only for me, but for herself as well. Watch this. Now, she just sat up here and gave y'all a nice little 5-minute speech about how to learn, when to learn, and yada, yada, yada. So the thing of it is, we have to constantly pay attention. We constantly have to not be on guard, not be prepared, but be available. Available. Yes. Did I say that wrong?
No, because I was about to say available. Be available. Be in tune. Be in tune. Even because sometimes, even he come in, it's times I come and I'll just sit there. I might be in my own world, but I might catch something and I'll be like, wait a minute, did I just, so it's, and that's his love language. His love language is loving to spend time with me. And I appreciate that, because I think out of all the relationships I had, he's the only person that speaks soft tone with me, doesn't raise his voice, he doesn't get violent. He sits there. Even if he's upset, he sits there. And I know he's pondering, but back to the communication. Be in tune with your spouse. Be in tune. This is one more point. This is my last point I'm going to hit, and we're going to pick up on the 4th Saturday of the month. But this is my last point I'm going to bring today that we're going to examine. Don't is very, very important. Don't give silent treatment. Don't give silent treatment. That is the biggest destroyer. Let me tell you. Here it says silent treatment teaches you to stay mad and grow your grudge. And it pushes your spouse away, right? The silent treatment is a form of emotional abuse. It is an emotional abuse. Even if you block it, let me just throw this in it. Even if you blocking your spouse from walking out the door. I learned that some years ago when I was going through some domestic. And I was like, what? Really? Because that can cause more issues. But let me go back. The silent treatment is a form of emotional abuse and breeds a negative atmosphere in home. Eventually, you will get tired of it, and when you are ready to talk to your spouse, you might find you have done permanent damage to your connection. You two have drifted. I'm sorry, you two have done permanent damage, and the connection between the two of you have drifted too far apart. So it's hard to get back. It really is, because now you got to restart on trying to build if you so desire. But sometimes people get in a place where they just like they've had enough. They don't want to do anything else, and that's it. But really, was it that serious? If you sit down and think about it and ponder, was that situation that caused you to go into a silent treatment? For me, because of how I examine, I'll be thinking like, what you up to? You got some plans to want to do something else. Because there's no reason that we can't communicate. We don't need to give silent treatment. Okay, if it's a fiery situation and that you're going to explode, yes, take a few moments, take a few minutes, calm down so you get your thought process together so that you'll be able to deliver and communicate in a healthy manner, positive. You know, I know sometimes I have to tell my husband, I know sometimes I come like a little lion because I'm still shedding off the defense of the past, right? We are growing people. We still be shedding off, having to fight for our respect or peace. No, is he really doing something that bad that it caused me to have to go into a silent treatment and not say, no, let's talk. We're going to talk about this. We need to talk about this because we have to stay in a humble space to be able to communicate what's taking place. What do you think about that silent treatment?
I'm Chris Gumbel, and here now the news. No, let me stop. Everything she said is right. Everything she said is right. However, we don't give them the rest of the ammunition they need, because the rest of the ammunition that they need from us, believe it or not, will make us better than who and what we originally were. Watch this and pay attention. And this is going to be something so simple, something so small, but it'll cascade and grow and get bigger. I don't know how many of my fellas out here like to get down in the kitchen, like to get down on the grill. I don't know that. But here's the thing. Quietly, silently, that is one of the things that we love. But do we communicate that? No. Because she's looking at us like we crazy because it's 2:00 in the afternoon and all of a sudden you want to barbecue. Knowing dinner was just cooked the previous night. As small and as simple as that is, that could create a whole bunch of other things, not only with you, but for her. Because I'm about to be real ugly, ladies. Please don't be mad. Because to a certain extent, that can tell her subliminally, if we're not paying attention, well, look, I'm a better cook. So we just going to eat this tonight because what you cooked last night just ain't working. Or two, and it was okay. I just wasn't feeling it. Yeah, this and the third. Thank you, babe, for cooking. Or three, the most dangerous of all. The most dangerous. I was saving that for something else. But you went ahead and cooked it. See? Now, watch this again. That eventually you will get tired of it when you are ready to talk to your spouse. Meaning, it's something as small as that. Because, and watch the expression on her face when I say this. There's been times that she's told me not to touch stuff And she'll come in the door and it's gone. And then she'll just look at me. And I'll be like, what? What?
Yeah,
What? And then it'll register. And then here we go. Here's the rest of it. You might find you have done permanent damage to your connection. Because, please pay attention. What? Oh, because those were her strawberries. That was her ice cream. Not even your children dare to cross the threshold into the possibility of death when it comes to that. But you walk in on some silent stuff. You two have drifted too far apart because in some shape, form, or fashion, you have violated. You have done damage. You have done damage. So that silent thing, please, that silent. I know I came across like real funny, but ultimately I wanted to express that, and that was the only way that I could. Yeah. I think because look, it's ladies that's watching this, and they like, okay, we're gonna talk to Neva later on because what the hell is he talking about? And then she's gonna break it down. And then she's gonna break it down. She's gonna break it down.
The point is, we have to respect and check. You know, I mean, nobody's kids, but you know, say if, for instance, I want to create this meal or so. Don't touch that. I had plans for that. Now you done went and did. Now I got. Do you know what you just did? You know, and I think, you know, that's just a little child's play on that because that's minimum. We want to talk. Don't give silent treatment on what. Now let me dig in a little deep. Don't give silent treatment. Example: you pulling up, and you see your spouse outside talking to the opposite sex, and you instantly get upset. Does that necessarily mean you're jealous? No, it does not. But
you can hear a question.
Either one, I never seen them communicate before. Two, the conversation looked like it's just so fabulous. What's going on? I just want to know. Like, is that something worth having a silent treatment on? No. But for some people, they turning the world upside down on it. No, be able to communicate. Is that a friend, co-worker? I don't know. I'm just asking. I just want to know. So with that being said, it's not worth having a silent treatment. But you take a few minutes, because if you heated because of that situation, you go ahead, take your few minutes and relax. Be humble. Figure out how you want to express yourself before a big chaos explode for nothing.
Especially if you know your husband don't really talk to people, because ultimately he deals with people, but he doesn't necessarily like them.
And sometimes we just have to communicate with other people of opposite sex. No problem. So as long as that individual, and now I'm going to go into a little bit more because I have seen people be like, this is my spouse, this is my significant other, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend, this is my husband, this is my wife. Don't get mad at the other person. Because sometimes when those relationships start trickling, because somebody's not honest, don't be mad at the other party. The spouse, the person you with, has to check themselves. Now that you made them aware, give them an opportunity to correct themselves and be respectful. Because guess what? That might have been something in the past relationship that they was being comfortable being done, and now you don't, you know. So you have to let people know your expectations. Okay.
Your wants, your needs, your desires.
Your expectations be made known so that you don't have to give the silent treatment. All right. Now, that is my point. I'm going to digress here, and we're going to pick up again in another week or so on the next points would be ask God for help, communicate to your spouse how to act in the future, don't seek revenge, don't equate your spouse to the devil, tell your spouse I forgive you, Remember your good days. Appreciate your spouse. Change your conversation. Don't keep reminding your spouse. And choose your battles. I'm going to have to break this down some more because this is a lot more. Seek counsel and decide whether it's your forgiveness and staying or forgiveness and leaving. And do it for you. Do not let somebody else dictate to you about your relationship, because guess what? They ain't with you 24/7. All they know is what they see, and all they know is what you share. And if you're sharing, don't share so much. You don't give your information to people that is not unbiased. Don't do that, because sometimes people look for avenue and ways to get into your stuff so they could be nosy, so they could tear some stuff down and let the enemy in. Don't let the enemy in your business. Okay?
I'm going to say this. Here's the thing. It's just you and that one person. That's it. You share some things about the other person, but all that other madness ain't got nothing to do with them. Yeah. It's not about them.
Yeah.
It will never be about them. So in order for me to gain your approval, I have to turn my relationship into something that you think it needs to be. Nah, I don't see that happening. I don't. I really don't. But anyway, the last and final note that we spoke about was silent treatment. Please don't be silent. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't be silent.
Don't be silent.
Please don't be silent.
Think about how you're going to deliver for a respectable response, and keeping yourself open and your heart free. And don't feel bad for having to express yourself. If you have to walk on eggshells, let me tell you, if you have to walk on eggshells in your relationships, you need to revise. You need to revisit. You need to rethink. You need to go back to the first base and find out what you need to do.
Okay, now I'm going to be funny at this point. She say walk on eggshells. All my older heads. All my older heads. If you have watched Kane practice his kung fu, you know he walked on rice paper. So my whole thing is, ultimately, I said it as a joke, but I wanted to make you aware of something. How you got and how you are where you are now, you didn't walk on rice paper, nor did you walk on eggshells. Because the only way your relationship, your marriage is going to stay strong is if you make your other half as strong as you. But above all else, make sure like she makes you strong in areas that you don't think that you really need. Please grow up and pay attention to the fact that you're doing the same thing to her.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that all being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you. Your comments, your thoughts, whatever you had that you wasn't able to express.
Glad you enjoyed the ride.
We love to have someone come in next time and communicate and express your thoughts processes, maybe what you've experienced, or maybe somebody else experienced, and you know, hey, let's keep this thing moving, because my solemn job is to make a change for the positivity of love for everyone. Those that dare to communicate in relationship, again, don't let somebody else have your power. Okay, get your power back by loving yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. If you have not forgiven yourself, that's why you're having a hard time moving forward. Know that you made a choice. You made a decision. You gave your all. They didn't appreciate it. Oh my goodness. That is not your fault. Let me tell you. That means something else is better for you. Appreciate the lesson. If you can think what the lesson was that you needed to gain out of there, you'll be okay. You'll move forward. So don't hold yourself back from finding love and receiving love. Just know that the choices that you had in those past relationships, the things that you experienced, you had to experience. Sometimes people say it was so harsh and so cruel. I'm so sorry. Let me apologize to you because you didn't deserve it. Sometimes some people just don't know how well and how good they have it. They take your love for a weakness, but let me tell you, love can be strength and your love can be a weakness. Move forward. They holding your power. That's why you won't move forward. Move forward. That's what I want to leave you guys with today, is to move forward. Don't let something somebody else did or said to you to keep you from dating, to keep you from marrying, to keep you from being committed. But that other individual, they must be at a level of maturity because that's the only way it could be done. You can't get into relationships thinking, oh, this is going to hold me over till I find the right person. Hey, you better be blessed and thankful that you where you at. So you mean to tell me you want to use somebody? Kick rocks. We're not children. We're grown people. If you need counseling and therapy, do it. If somebody want to judge and criticize you, shame on them, because that already automatically tells me that they're still living in damage. So with that being said, I want to thank you all. You can find this live video on my YouTube channel under the Love Storm Show. Please like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments. I am tuned in every second and fourth Saturday, 1 p.m. Central Time. And I hope to see you guys come in. You want to tag in and get on the live, we'd like to have you in as a guest. You can direct message me if you're interested. If there's a topic you'd like for me to express and expound on, I'm very delighted to do so. So I want to thank you all again. And this is the Love Storm with Neva, your host and co-host.
Aaron. Oh, gotta let him know. No, let me stop.
Where don't stop loving so you don't miss your blessing. Love is everything. Turn it up. Till next time. See you.